It was a one-match show, but what a match it was. I'm John Renton with the Retro Review WWE In Your House 13 Final 4. Ah, yes, the infamous pay-per-view where WWE had to pick up the pieces, pick up the pieces, after Shawn Michaels lost his smile, gave up the WWE Championship, and went off to have knee surgery, and then came back a few weeks later because he ran away like a bitch. Because he didn't want to drop the title to Bret Hart. He was also going through a whole lot of shit, but yes, he lost his smile. So WWE did what they did best. Basically put the components together in the main event and said, sort out, guys, do something. Taker, Austin, Bret, Vader, y'all get in there and do something. Salvage this goddamn thing. Do something, pal. I need Mania saved. Ha ha ha. I'm a genius, damn it. But anyway, yeah, this pay-per-view done in the In Your House format. And if you're unfamiliar with In Your House, WWE was trying to drum up interest. In 1995, of all years, when they were losing, like, millions of dollars, I think Vince McMahon was quoted as saying, $6 million. So every company was losing money. WCW somehow managed to turn a profit, I think, by the end of the year, but they'd been losing money for years. Enough about profits. This is basically pay-per-views with a smaller card for a cheaper price. And WWE actually kept the In Your House format, or like the name, until I want to say early 99. But then they started making them full-fledged 3-hour pay-per-views, making them full cards, charging full price and everything. So the whole In Your House thing really went out of style even by mid-97. But at this point, the main event was a Final Four match, a Fatal 4-Way where anything goes unless you're thrown over the top rope to the floor. And you can lose by pinfall or submission. But other than that, anything goes. And man, that match certainly made up for a card that barely would have qualified for being on Raw even at this time. So they were at the UTC Arena, Chattanooga, Tennessee, about 6,400 people. I think it's about as many as can be crammed into that place. Or at least, as many as they were able to cram into that place. Because 1997 was a bit of a rough year for WWE until about the end of the year. The dark match, by the way, was the Godwins. Phineas I. Godwin and Henry O. Godwin. Pig and Hog. Do you get it? Do you get it? Ha ha! It's such good shit, pal. They took on the Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher. It was about an 11.5-minute match. I don't know what happened beyond the Godwins winning because they didn't have this on the main thing because it's the dark match or the pre-show match or the free-for-all, whatever the fuck they were calling it at this point. So anyway, JR and Lawler on commentary for this, and Wildman Mark Merrow with Sable, a different kind of Sable. She wasn't in the dresses that she was in when she accompanied Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the future Triple H, but they were calling him Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Man, it's a good thing they went to Triple H because Hunter Hearst Helmsley was a really wordy way to say his name. And Wildman Mark Merrow, who, of course, was Johnny B. Bad in WCW, had been the Intercontinental Champion for a cup of coffee, and this is how they opened the show. Wildman Mark Merrow, and nothing against Mark Merrow. He was a very good athlete and everything. He got a huge contract from WWE. WWE, easy for me to say. Vince McMahon gave him a lot of money, and then just seemingly gave up on him because he thought Sable was the hottest thing ever. Oh, she's going to do such great business. Who cares about the women wrestling? Let's have Sable out there. Yes. Ha ha. But anyway, he took on known anti-Semite Leif Cassidy, a.k.a. Al Snow. If you don't believe me, just look up some stuff about Al Snow. Al Snow ain't exactly the best guy in the world. But even if he wasn't that, he's a fucking idiot. And he may be a great wrestler, but he's also a fucking goddamn idiot. So anyway, they got sparkly, whirly fireworks for Miro, or Amaro. Marrow, that is. Sorry, I have Miro on the brain. Wondering where on the day of our Lord, February 8th, 2022, where is the Savior, the Reamer, Miro? But yes, Mark Merrow got the swirly, sparkly things. Whee! Did all that, man. I can't wait for somebody to make fun of that. And Leaf did not get a TV entrance. To be fair, Al Snow at this point did not deserve a TV entrance. It's not exactly the hot start that I think they wanted, or they were hoping it would be. There was a lot of knee focus. In fact, this match was knee focused, the musical, and Sable ended up slapping Leif Cassidy. Sable getting involved, thinking there were no repercussions because Sable was a stupid, undeserving twat that never deserved the wrestling or the attention she got in wrestling, the money she got from wrestling. She never deserved to be on wrestling television. Sure, she got big ratings from a bunch of guys that apparently thought whatever that was actually attractive. I'm sorry, but I would take a lot of women at that point over fucking Sable. And apparently Brock took over fucking Sable many years later. Ha ha. So yeah, he hit the Wild Thing, the Shooting Star Press, 1, 2, 3, and Mark Merrow got the victory. Let's move on from that. Also, yeah, fuck Sable. She doesn't deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. She never deserved to be in wrestling, and I would like to say I despise the fact that she was ever allowed there, and she got so much money when there were so many other deserving women that could have done a whole lot better, and she was one that Luna had to fucking carry. Poor Luna. Luna, who could have done so many great things in wrestling, but nope, had to job and take care of the fucking Barbie doll that was Sable. So anyway, Jerry Lawler actually said because Sable was wearing sunglasses and talking about, Sable slapping Leif Cassidy. He's like, my motto is never hit a woman with glasses. Always use your fist. Never slap a woman with glasses. Always use your fist. Lawler had a poor choice of words there. Just like I butchered the goddamn thing. Some of Lawler's commentary hasn't aged all that well. Honky Tonk Man was here. They were still trying to do something with Honky Tonk Man in 1997, despite the fact by 1990, he wasn't worth a good goddamn bit of shit. Besides the fact that he was a goddamn bit of shit every time he appeared on television. Recaps of Sean's Lost Smile Sermon on the Mount. Like a little bitch. So, I'm sure that Sean was hurting. So was everybody. Sean could have just said, hey, maybe you shouldn't have given me the championship when my knee hurt. His knee suddenly started hurting that badly 2 weeks after the Rumble. Convenient. Here's a Sid promo with Kevin Kelly. Man, Sid Vicious with a meme factory before memes were ever a thing. He will face the main event winner on the following Raw. And then Brett would get all upset when he couldn't win a cage match and shove Vince down and upset as he began to goddamn describe it. This is bullshit. Sid looked great. He looked impressive. If only Sid had the perfect fucking look for wrestling. And he made a lot of money in it. A lot of money. And could have been a whole lot better than he was. Flash Funk entrance. It's not so flash, not so funky. Too Cold Scorpio was better than this. So Bart Gunn, Flash Funk, and Goldust of Marlena taking on the Nation of Domination members Farouk, Crush, and Savio Vega. With D'Lo Brown, Clarence Mason, and PG-13, who were easily one of the worst goddamn things to ever be perpetrated upon professional wrestling. Terrible act. They couldn't rap for shit. They couldn't do anything. And even watching WWE television at this time, the Nation of Domination was cool. PG-13 was not cool. They did not add anything to them. By the way, I actually liked the main event of this. But I've got some critiques of these matches, as you can tell. Well, the faces basically start with a melee of an opening. It wasn't dull, but it was random because we just threw a few people together that had been targeted by the Nation. Ahmed Johnson was out because I think he had some kind of... He had gotten like beaten down or something like that right after the Rumble. He would be part of Mania 13, that street fight with teaming with LOD against the Nation of Domination when everything went nuts. But yeah, Crush hit a leg drop on Bart Gunn when he had the cover on Farouk, and Farouk covers 4-3. There we go. Moving on. Doc Hendrix interviews Stone Cold. Stone Cold would go on and do better promos than this. He kind of stumbled a little bit, but it was what it was. He's still trying to find himself. He won the Rumble because we don't have instant replay here. So basically, he just admitted that he actually didn't win the Rumble, but he's like, I was declared the winner, wasn't I? Wasn't I? Shouldn't I be the champion? So, Ode to Joy playing Hunter Hearst Helmsley to the ring. That always makes me laugh. Recaps of Rocky beating Triple H for the Intercontinental Championship recently, and this is a rematch. It wasn't bad. There was a lot of arm focus, much like the whole knee focus. Arm focus, the musical for this. Triple H taking over with the deliberate pace. We get a lot of rest holds. A lot of fucking rest holds. And then we get boos for Rocky. We get a crossbody 4-3. Later, Goldust shows up because Goldust and Triple H are still skirmishing and having their feud, like they had a great opening match at the 97 Rumble. Was that the opening match, or was Vader versus Taker the opening match? I'm trying to remember. I retro-reviewed it, but I've retro-reviewed a lot of stuff. Sorry. So, Goldust distracts Triple H, and Rock gets gets the pin 1, 2, 3. And then Rocky retains. And suddenly, this unknown woman, this unidentified woman, starts choking out Marlena and everything. Starts choking out her. What the hell's going on? And then this woman's taken away. It's China. It's future China, by the way, in case you haven't seen this pay-per-view and you thought that maybe somebody had attacked Terry Reynolds. Thankfully, no. Poor Terry Reynolds had to put up with a whole lot of shit, like on the plane ride from fucking hell. Poor Terry. Really, I mean it, poor Terry. I did kind of like how Goldust is yelling, throw her in jail! Oh, jail, unfortunately, would be something that China would have to deal with in her life, and it's terrible, by the way, that WWE is profiting off of her image in WWE 2K22, but don't search the internet, and you can't put China in the Hall of Fame when she's alive, because if you Google her, you will see stuff, children will see stuff that she was in. Said the guy that in the previous, that in that match, in the Intercontinental Championship match, simulated sex with a mannequin that was supposed to be a corpse. Good job doing the hypocrisy there, Triple H. Alright, Vader and Paul Bearer are talking backstage. We get Furnace and LaFon, Doug Furnace and Phil LaFon against the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, and Owen Hart with Clarence Mason, WWE Tag Team Championship match. There was friction among Owen and Bulldog, but they ended up winning this. Furnace was really goddamn good. LaFon, they were a good team. Furnace was clearly the star of it. And then they kept arguing, the Chance kept arguing, but Bulldog kept saving Owen. Then Owen eventually used the slammy, the 2-time slammy, where he would hit LaFon over the head with it, and then that would lead to a DQ. Bulldog was upset. It looked like we were going to get the tag champs exploding. No, we didn't. The tag team champions, they did not crash. It did not hurt inside until about 2 years later. They actually held the championships, let's see, for about not 2 more months. About 5 more. No, 4. Because they lost them to Shawn Michaels and Austin and just before King of the Ring 1997. So anyway, maybe it was after. A lot of messy stuff in WWE there. So, yeah, the Bulldog is pissed and all this stuff. Taker spooks Doc Hendrix, talks about rediscovering his edge, and then we can recap the 97 Rumble. Vader versus Austin versus Brett versus Taker. Final 4 match for the WWE Championship. You can only be eliminated by being thrown over the top rope to the floor, Royal Rumble style, or pinfall or submission. Otherwise, anything goes. Literally, you can hit somebody with a goddamn cotton candy vendor. That's where they stop. They hit each other with everything, chairs, steps. Vader was bleeding from the eye. He was gushing. He had to take off his mask at one point because he couldn't goddamn see and the blood was getting in the way. This is a goddamn war. This made up for the fact that the rest of the card was basically raw quality before we got to this. And this made it all worth it. Whatever price they were charging, I can't remember if it was $19.95 or $24.95 at this point. It was worth it because this was fucking tremendous. They beat the shit out of each other. They just practically destroyed each other. And Finkel got tossed down at one point, chair to Vader's face. He was bleeding from the eye and everything. They did show Gorilla Monsoon at one point, Gorilla Monsoon in the ring just before this with Howard Finkel, and it's just sad that both are gone. Finkel lived longer but had many health issues, and Gorilla Monsoon, unfortunately, I think would pass right... Was it on the same day, or was it right around this? I think it was around the same time as Yokozuna. No, Yokozuna passed away in 2000. Gorilla Monsoon passed away sometime in October of 99, if I recall correctly. This was pretty goddamn brutal, this match, though. It's just hard to believe how many people, passed away. Owen was, gone about just over 2 years after this. Bulldog didn't even make it 5 years, or barely made it 5 years after this. Vader got just absolutely destroyed at one point, hitting the steps with Vader. We keep coming back with clubbing blows. Taker was, being a dominant force. As always, Austin and Brett would not leave each other alone. Austin was beating the shit out of him. There was a lot of just viciousness about this, but Vader made up for the fact that nobody else bled by bleeding a ton. And we get Cable choking and everything. Shades of the Benoit household about 10.5 years later. And then the near falls happen, and Brett tosses Austin out, not carelessly, but, effortlessly. And Austin is eliminated. And this time the referee saw it, unlike at the 97 Rumble. So it's down to 3. And then Vader loses his mask. Bearer hits Taker from behind. Vader's going to go for Vader gets hit with a superplex. It looks like Vader, though, might somehow get this. And then Taker low blows him. And Vader falls off the top, over the top to the floor. So now it's down to Taker and Brett. Austin comes back. He will not stop. He keeps attacking Brett and everything. And Taker goes for him because he's interfering and he cost him a chance to tombstone Bret. And then Bret tosses Taker out, gets the victory, and there you go. Bret's celebrating, there's pyro going off, and then Sid comes down, stares him down, and that's going to be our main event for the following Raw, which I'm not going to review. I'm not doing any more of this episodic retro reviewing stuff because I already reviewed too many shows as it is. But this was a nice time capsule for the main event. The rest of the show, not so good. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.